Check this out. An ex-Pasadena police officer who illegally sold more than 100 guns gets 1 year in prison. Former Pasadena Police Lieutenant Gordican was sentenced to a year in federal prison Monday for illegally selling 108 guns over a 3-year period. This is a police officer. 108 guns. He was selling them illegally. Federal prosecutors had asked for a 30-month sentence for Gordican, but Judge Stephen Wilson imposed a term of 12 months and 1 day, making the disgraced former officer eligible for a 15% reduction in his sentence. Gordican's attorney, Mark Weissman, anticipates his client will serve less than 7 months behind bars. The judge ordered him to surrender on June 3rd, allowing him to first attend his son's high school graduation. Aww. He will also have to pay a $10,000 fine. In a plea deal last year, Gordican admitted he used his position as police officer to bypass waiting periods and obtain firearms that the public can't otherwise buy from a dealer. Gordican pleaded guilty in a U.S. District Court in Los Angeles to felony charges of selling firearms without a license and falsifying a record, wherein he had claimed he was buying a firearm for himself even though he intended to sell it. So how did he do this? Gordican sold most of his firearms to people he met through kelguns.net, a message board for gun owners. At the hearing, Worksman argued his client was a hobbyist who got swept up and did not realize he was breaking the law until it was too late. 108 guns. 108 guns. This person sold illegally via a message board. We exchange guns in this country via a shady Craigslist dealings. Do you know how anonymous message boards are? Yes, you do know. You do know. We all know. Anyone who's been cognizant of the internet knows. And I'm sure this officer is old enough that they remember AIM. They remember stuff like that. We know. And this guy was selling. Oh, he was just a hobbyist. The guy's 108. If you do something illegal 108 times, you know you're doing something illegal, first of all. Second of all, 108 guns. And they don't even bother mentioning where those guns might have ended up, do they? 108 of them. We have a school shooting every other day. You guys really believe that at least one of these 108 guns didn't fall into the wrong hands? They were sold illegally by a police officer who got nothing more than a slap on the wrist. This guy is going to serve less than a year. He's going to pay his fine. And he's just going to rejoin society. I mean, let's see. Uncheckered past. Indeed, the judge acknowledged that while the offense was serious, he did not believe Gordican's actions created a danger to the public. 108 illegally sold firearms. How could that possibly create a danger to the public? He described the former officer as a valued citizen with an uncheckered past. Well, he's never done anything wrong before. He illegally sold 108 firearms, but outside of that, he's clean. He's clear. Outside of that, just 108 firearms. That's it. That's it. I mean, hey, who hasn't gone on a bender? Who hasn't had a crazy weekend in Vegas? Am I right? Here's your slap on the wrist. Justice. Wow. 108. 108. About 75% of the guns he sold are considered off-roster, so he exploited a loophole, which means they cannot be sold to the public by a licensed gun dealer. Gordican exploited a loophole that allows police officers to buy these weapons and legally sell them through a private transfer. Gordican sold his guns to private parties and always made the sales in the presence of a federally licensed dealer as required by law, but he never bought and sold a gun at the same location because he knew his quick turnaround would raise red flags. If Gordican had properly registered as a federal firearms licensee, he would not have been able to sell the much more profitable off-roster weapons anymore. The former police officer was caught when he sold his shotgun to an undercover agent. His character should also be judged by his decision to repeatedly violate the law. Yeah, you think? After the sentences, Gordikan thanked the dozens of friends and family members who had come out to support him. "I'm done crying about this," he said. The gathering, made up largely of members of various Armenian groups that supported him, then held a prayer outside the courtroom doors. Prayer for who? For him? The guy that illegally sold 108 firearms? $10,000. He probably has more in profit than $10,000. He probably made a bigger profit margin than that. He doesn't even have to give away all his profits. $10,000 and probably 7 months. If there's a chance of 7 months, that's what he'll serve. All right. Meanwhile, 108 guns that shouldn't be on the streets are on the streets. 108 of them. I'm sure, as the judge said, it's not a problem to society. 108. Sure, it's no problem to society. Not at all. Good job, Pasadena. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and